Welcome back to another edition of the Privacy News here on the Weekly News Roundup. These are recorded live Friday, 9 o'clock p.m. Eastern Standard Time. You can also catch these short blips as well. And today we're talking about our private internet access as our affiliate link for the day for support. If you want to help support the channel, check a look at private internet access. If you need a VPN, you can connect up to 5 devices with PIA, and it'll block ads. It will block a lot of tracking scripts, a lot of things that I kind of tell people to make sure you avoid. You can actually block it by using private internet access. You can use this link, and you, for $83 up front, you get 2 years of access to the system, and they have servers all around the country. So that being said, let's go ahead and jump on into our privacy news. And first up is tracking phones. Google is a dragnet for police. I don't know why this is news, but the New York Times thought it was news. Maybe they're behind the times. Ooh, ow, that one actually hurt. But anyway, this deals with one of the ways that Google works with law enforcement in order to help track down places of crime. So, some incident of crime goes on and the police estimate an approximate time, they'll do a blanket warrant to Google and say, let us know every device that was in range between this period and this period at this range of location. And then if Google complies with such a warrant, then they will go in and grab a lot of data and just hand it on back, which basically means that even if you are completely innocent, they are going to be investigating you because you might have been in the vicinity of the crime. Now, the biggest problem I have with this is like, well, I have nothing to hide. But the problem is that oftentimes police aren't looking for who did the crime. They're looking for who they can convict for doing the crime. And that sounds like a subtle difference. But the reality is, if you're just kind of maybe a weird guy, not liked in community, maybe you even have a criminal background, but you're trying to clean yourself up and you walked in the vicinity of where a crime may have occurred. Now they're watching you closely, and if they can't figure out who did it, it was automatically you because you got the history. This entire principle needs to be completely burnt with a whole lot of fire! Stop! Fire! No, that's not a fire screen for the day. I just wanted to go ahead and use that. Just because the reality is, just because you walk in the vicinity of a crime does not mean that the police need to fully investigate you. It's 50-50, for me. Actually, it's more like 20-80. I kind of see 20% why they might want to do this. But the reality is, this is too much information. This is too easy to access by law enforcement, and oftentimes these come with a gag order, so the company like Google cannot inform you that the police are looking into you. And I just feel a little turry about that kind of stuff. That's kind of the problem and the issue with that. Other Google news. Now, Apple did this a while back, I believe. Now Google has added it into Google Pay. If you link your Google Pay to your Gmail account and any type of ticket sales or things like that, then what will happen is the Google Pay can scan through your email and automatically connect all those tickets and other items into Google Pay. So this, of course, is a little goofy. I just don't like this degree of sharing data. What's wrong with going over and switching applications? I had this conversation with a friend this week, and he's like, he kind of wanted to put Snapchat on the phone, not because he likes it. In fact, he hates it, but it's like, it's the only way a couple people I know communicate. It's like, dude, they're on their phone. Like, can't you text them? It's on the phone. They don't want to take the time to leave Snapchat and go to the texting app. That is a new kind of lazy. All right, and for that same reason, I'm not a huge fan of this type of stuff, where you're syncing too many things together. You're taking your manual ability to think and to do things, and you're basically allowing the computer algorithm to share more information within itself in order to pass this information out. That, to me, is a little bit scary. But it's not quite as scary as the facial recognition spreading all over the place. So this says 97% of departing airline passengers will be scanned with facial recognition within the next 4 years. Now, there is a little bit of a misnomer in this. They didn't identify it very clearly, but this means leaving the country. So if you leave the country, this isn't just you hop on a plane from here and you fly over to there. That's not what we're talking about. All right. We're talking about if you're actually leaving the country or entering the country, you're getting scanned. Now, the biggest concern with this, now I have two big concerns. Number one big concern is it's only a matter of time before this gets spread to domestic flights as well. This is kind of what's behind this Real ID they're trying to implement across the United States. They're trying to get it to the point where you need a Real ID or a passport to fly even domestically. And this just starts to encroach on the concept of what United States actually is. But that's number one principle about this, is that it will spread to domestic flights soon enough. All right, it was just kind of slowly roll out. It was a big deal 6 months ago when I think it was was it Delta? It might have been Delta. I forget. But they were in Atlanta, Georgia, where this jumped in. And now they're getting to 97%. Now it's like, well, maybe we just need to start scanning just the big airports, and it'll become all airports pretty soon. Now, the number two concern that I would have with this, let's see if I can remember my number two concern with this. My number two is that they're grabbing all this information, they're creating this database, and this is yet another point of access that they can pin and connect to any other intergovernmental agencies in order to gather a lot more data than the government should have. This is the type of stuff that our Constitution tells us is none of the government's business. We as citizens need to say, stop, slow down, this is inappropriate. I am an American citizen and the Constitution protects privacy from the government, not from the company. This is where we get this turnkey principle that it's perfectly legal for you to willingly give it all to Google and then for the government to get it from Google. That's something that needs to stop. We need to clarify that ruling in the Constitution to say the government cannot get that stuff from any source at all outside of a very clear warrant, which isn't a blanket warrant, but a specific warrant. This is the person, this is the place, this is the time we need the data. Now, we can rest very assuredly that Microsoft is not the one selling the facial recognition. It turns out that Microsoft has turned down facial recognition sales because of human rights concerns. All from the very company that will not stop the military defense contract and produce weapons of war at protest of their employees. Scratch your head on that one for a little bit. Oh, no. We'll sell you weapons of mass destruction and HoloLens super soldier creation stuff, but no, we're not going to sell you facial recognition. I think there's more to this story. But they did basically cite some human rights concerns that facial scanning needs to be regulated, and they are the tech company leading the charge in calling for regulation of facial scanning. So that's kind of good. It's just a little bit of the pot calling the kettle black. This one should be in silly news, but you know those Harmony remotes that you get? Well, they have a brand new one. It's $250, and they've gotten rid of pretty much every functionality except these 9 buttons that appear to be back, home. It's a hamburger button. I'm guessing a menu for the TV or whatever. A rewind, a play pause, a fast forward, a volume up, volume down, and mute. And what's the big thing in the middle? Alexa. That's right. You will be able to start talking to your Alexa. Talking like, hey Alexa, turn on the Xbox. So this thing's creepy. When you get in there and push the button, it's going to scan your network and then give you a display list. I'm guessing you're syncing it with a smartphone app or something. I'm not sure how you're syncing it. But you sync the thing up and it's going to go through your whole network. It's going to detect all of the stuff that's on the network and automatically configure it with all of the stuff. And then you just use your Alexa button to talk to it. Alexa, do something. Alexa, change the channel. Alexa, I've become lazy. Alexa, Order popcorn. Alexa, order unicorn meat. Confirm. I mean, that's all I need to do, man. There's application for this device. I mean, come on. You're sitting there watching your stuff. You see an amazing ad. I mean, it's Easter, right? Cadbury cream eggs. Cadbury cream eggs. You just have to pick up your remote. Alexa, order me Cadbury cream eggs. Confirm. All right. And then you're going to get, there's the applications. Now, the remote doesn't do that at this point in time. I don't think. Didn't notice that. But that's an ongoing thing. I scratch my head about this kind of stuff. I mean, we are truly a dumbed down society. I gotta get rid of this. This kind of reminds me of, remember in Diary of a Wimpy Kid, the dog days, right? When they give him the starter smartphone that only, or the starter cell phone that only calls home and 911, you know? I mean, so this remote reminds me of, how do you turn on the TV? I don't even know. I don't know how you do anything with a stupid remote without talking to Alexa. That's the last thing I need is for Alexa to be recording everything that I'm doing with a remote. Hey Alexa, turn on the Xbox because I can't push the button myself. Lordy. But if Alexa doesn't scare you enough, if you're just like, I don't know. Facebook is now working on its own rival to Amazon Alexa and Apple Siri and Hey Google, and what's the Samsung one? Is that still a thing? So think of this. All of the Facebook stuff, all of the leakages, all of the craziness, all of this, all of it. Facebook now wants to get into the voice automation. Like Louis Rossman's getting a little upset and loud and about Google collecting everything he's been doing on the voice thing. Rightly so. Good for him. Good that his audience is now informed about that. But now we have Facebook wanting to get into this? Oh yeah, this is not going to end badly at all. Of course, they're trying to implement this. Oh, is this creepy picture? Yeah. They're trying to implement this. I think they want to get this into the Portal devices. They're trying to get their Portal devices into every home. Now they're trying to do that. It's kind of creepy. Kind of creepy indeed. But yeah, it turned out that Facebook over the last week, they unintentionally uploaded 1.5 million people's email contacts without their consent. Now, this is not 1.5 million email addresses. This is the entire email contact list of 1.5 million Facebook users. Now, think of that crazy rule of 7 thing, right? Where this 7, I think they call it the 7 degrees to Kevin Bacon, I think. That you are within 7 degrees of any person on the planet. I know a guy who knows a guy who knows a guy who knows a guy who knows a guy who knows, and you do that out 7 times, the average person could know everybody in the world feasibly. 1.5 million people's email contacts were upgraded. I really think that, considering that 7 degrees of Kevin Baconiness here going on, that Facebook now feasibly has everybody's emails. Now, they did say, this is unintentional and we're deleting the addresses. Yeah, we believe you, Facebook. We believe you. So there's a little bit behind how this happened. Again, the news articles that I have listed here, you can go read all the news articles, are on the Switch to Linux website. But yeah, this is just the latest. They're grabbing all of this information. And now, of course, of all of this kind of stuff, from NBC News, the United States is now looking at ways to hold Zuckerberg accountable for Facebook's problems. And I've been saying this for a long time, people. A long time. That the way to clean up America and the way to restore this land to capitalism rather than corporatocracy where we are now, it is to hold executives legally responsible for the mishaps of their companies. Okay? Now, I will certainly agree for a total confirmed accident, but the challenge is the way the legal system is set up. If a company were to get caught being anything from completely malicious to totally negligent, if they're even caught, 5 years later, they'll get a fine that was maybe 5 to 10% of the total profits they made from the malicious thing. When corporate executives start going to jail and being barred from being an executive from any other company for the rest of their life, and all of the assets that they made for the company get stripped away from them, we're going to see corporate America clean up in a hot second. That's what it's going to take. So to this end, the FTC is looking for ways to hold Zuckerberg accountable for Facebook's problems. The problem is the way our legal system is set up, it's probably not going to happen. Of course, Facebook, as you imagine, is going through and trying to block all that kind of stuff, but that's kind of that. What do you guys think? Let us know. Let us know what you think in the comments down below. Again, you can help support the channel. Have a look at the links above me or in the description down below. And follow along on the social media accounts if you want regular updates.